Hey folks, this is Gabe at Security Baron, and today we're checking out one of the newer kids on the block, Scout Alarm Home Security System. Let's dive in. If you'd like to see a list of our favorite home security systems, Google Security Baron Best Home Security Systems. If you have a question about today's review, leave us a comment and I'll get back to you. In today's review of the Scout Alarm Home Security System, we'll go over what components we got with our package, how easy it was to set up, the customer support options, the professional monitoring, and the mobile application. One thing that distinguishes Scout Alarm Home Security System from its competitors is how customizable the system is. You can even include cameras and pieces from other systems all together. Now, with our system, we got the hub, the access sensors, the motion detectors, the door panel, and the Scout HD camera. The hub is the center, the brains of the entire Scout Alarm Home Security operation. Now, aesthetically speaking, it's pretty typical. We have the Arctic version here. There's also a midnight version that comes in black. But of course you get a mix with each. You got that black piece here. You got the wolf insignia on the top, representing Scout Alarm. You've got an Ethernet and a power adapter in the back. And the thing that the hub allows you to do is know that you're protected even if the power and phone line go out, because it does have a cellular backup and a backup battery. So it's going to continue to receive the necessary information from the sensors, and you can always be sure to alert the proper authorities no matter what's going on with your home's infrastructure. And one other thing we want to note is that this thing also has the ability to try to deter potential intruders with a 106 decibel alarm, and that's something that comes right here inside of the hub with the Scout Alarm Home Security System. The next component I want to discuss with your Scout Alarm Home Security System is the door panel. Now, the door panel follows the same aesthetic. You've got your white on the top and the black below. This is, of course, the Arctic version of the Scout Alarm Home Security System, and generally I like it. Now, there are a few elements about its design that are kind of different. One, the fact that it is a door panel, it's not one that you really type into. It's not a manual thing. You're going to use either your key fob, which works in the typical way as many key fobs you've seen before with home security systems, like the Nest Guard, for example, that just allow you to press it against the system and boom, now you've armed or disarmed and you've let it know that you're home. Or what's different about the Scout Alarm, or something I've not seen with anyone else, is you've got this RFID sticker. And with this sticker, it actually serves the same function as the key fob. Now, the key fob allows you to do that. And so does this sticker in terms of opening the door. And you can put this on anything. So you can have it on a candle, inside of a book, and no one would expect that one of these nondescript, typical items in your home actually serves as a key fob. So that's something really cool about Scout Alarm. And the final thing that really sets apart this door panel from others that I've seen is that it actually also works as a door sensor. So if you note, these two pieces together are basically like the door sensor that you would see on any other door, but just much larger. But it still works to know that if a door is opened, it will be registered right here. So that's an interesting thing to note on the door panel with the Scout Alarm Home Security System. So the next component that we have with our Scout Alarm Home Security System are the access sensors, as they're called by Scout Alarm. You may have heard them referred to as door and window sensors or entry sensors, but these are access sensors. They basically serve the same purpose. With these, you can put them on a filing cabinet, liquor cabinet, your door, your window, and know whenever it's been opened or closed, which is very useful. Now, aesthetically speaking, they follow that midnight formula, or rather that Arctic formula for Scout Alarm. They have two different styles. And in this one, you get that black with the white. And the way these work is pretty simple. Put them on your door or your filing cabinet, and when things are opened, the magnetic strip will go off. You'll hear a chirp. You'll get a notification to your phone, and you'll know that, hey, someone has opened up something that maybe they should not have. So these access sensors will do what they're intended to do, which is keep you abreast of what's going on in your home. The next item we're going to discuss with our Scout Alarm Home Security System is the motion detector. Now, the motion detector for Scout Alarm follows that Arctic, because we got the Arctic system, so it's white on the front, black in the more integral piece here, and you've got your adhesive on the back, and you can screw it in as well. With this clear honeycomb looking bubble, you'll note that it just kind of protrudes out a bit, and it's not my favorite. But I will say that because it is such a small motion detector, actually significantly smaller than a lot of the other ones we've seen, it doesn't really catch the eye, and it doesn't really bother me too much because it's just really discreet in one corner of your room. So one thing to note is that this motion detector only has a 90-degree field of view, so you actually may need more than one depending on how large your space is, and that's something to think about when we're getting the motion detector for the Scout Alarm home security system. The next item we're gonna look at with our Scout Alarm home security system is the Scout Indoor Camera. Now, the Scout Indoor Camera is kind of basic if I'm being completely honest. And even in terms of the initial basic setup, it was a little bit harder to put in this power adapter than one would expect. I actually had to rotate, this thing doesn't actually rotate that much, but I rotated, and then from here was able to get enough leverage and strength to place that power adapter. But in terms of what this thing is capable of, we're gonna look at it with the Security Brand Necessary Features test. Video quality is a security barrier necessary feature, and the Scout Indoor Camera does well on some metrics. It has 1080p high definition video, so you can get a nice, crisp, clear picture, but it only has 115-degree field of view, and we love to see at least 120 degrees. Of course, when it comes to zoom, you got that pinch zoom, so you can kind of zero in on some things going on. So overall, it's doing all right when it comes to video quality. Two-way audio is a security barrier necessary feature and not something you're going to find on the Scout Indoor Security Camera. They do not have that functionality, and it's usually something we really like to have because then you can explain someone where you've left your wallet if they're about to meet you out somewhere, or you can just try to scare away an intruder. And with the Scout Indoor Camera, you're only going to be able to hear what's going on in the room, not speak back. So when it comes to two-way audio, nothing going with the Scout Indoor Camera. Night vision is a security barrier necessary feature, and the night vision on the Scout Indoor Camera is actually surprisingly good considering it only has one infrared LED sensor, so while it's not the best night vision that we've seen, it's definitely adequate. Local and cloud storage is a security barrier necessary feature, and the Scout Indoor Camera does not have local storage, and it does come with cloud storage, but only 14 days, no matter what you're paying. So that's a little bit of a limitation in our eyes with no local storage and a very limited cloud storage option. Smart platform integration is an important security barrier necessary feature. And despite the Scout Alarm home security system as a whole integrating with Amazon Alexa or Google Assistant, the Scout Indoor Camera does not. So you're not gonna get that full smart platform experience with this camera. You'd have to use some of the other cameras that actually work with the Scout Alarm system, like the Nest Cam. Artificial intelligence is a security barrier necessary feature and something you will not find with the proprietary Scout Indoor Camera. So if you want to do artificial intelligence with your camera and the Scout Alarm home security system, you're going to have to go with one of the other options for a camera. So now that we've covered all the items in our Scout Alarm home security system, I wanted to make a note that you can order a host of other items like smart locks, glass break sensors, water sensors for flooding, and smoke and CO2 sensors. So they really do live up to their hype as the ultimate customizable system when we're talking about Scout Alarm. Convenience is an important security barrier necessary feature, and one that I kind of had a bit of an issue with the Scout Indoor Camera. Now, the Scout Indoor Camera requires you to sign up for professional monitoring before you can actually set up this camera. That's something to be cognizant of. Along with that, you also have to make sure that you set it up right the first time, because I mistyped the password and resetting the camera was a bit of a hassle. So when it comes to convenience in the security barrier necessary features test, the Scout Indoor Camera does raise some concerns. So now that we discussed all the items that we're going over in our review of the Scout Alarm home security system, let's talk about what it was like to set them up. Generally, the setup with the Scout Alarm system is pretty straightforward, but we did have some hiccups here and there when setting up the system. And so to begin, just remember to do them all one by one. If you actually start to pull out the battery strips for your system before you should be doing so, it's gonna really make it harder for you to set that system up. That's something to be cognizant of. So let's begin with the hub, the brains of the operation with your Scout Alarm home security system. Now with the hub, you have to plug in the power adapter, plug in the Ethernet cable, which is something new. We don't typically have to do that with every system. And just go with your mobile application and it walks you through that process. You do have to put in an activation code that comes in the box that basically says plug this in at a certain moment so that Scout Alarm knows that you are the person who has received this system. The next item you'll set up is the door panel. On the mobile application, it'll say add devices. You'll hit add door panel, and from adding the door panel, you'll actually pull off this battery. Make sure that pairs with the hub and with your mobile application. And then from there, it'll tell you when to remove the adhesive and install it on your door frame. The next item that we installed were the access sensors. Now the access sensors will appear on your mobile application. You'll tap access sensors. I did this twice. I named them each twice right there in the mobile application. Once they've paired with the mobile app and the hub, you'll go ahead and remove the adhesive and place them on your door or window or wherever you'd like to have them. So one of the last items we installed with our Scout Alarm home security system is the motion detector. Now the motion detector works in a very similar manner. It's all walked through with the mobile application where you see that it pairs with the hub and pairs with the mobile application. And then what I really like about Scout Alarm is that not only does it go through the pairing process, but also make sure that it actually works. So it tells you where to place your motion detector, which is about 6.5 feet off of the ground, and has you walk in front of it. So you're gonna wanna place it somewhere where it's gonna capture the most motion, and then you walk in front of that space and you make sure that it works, and it'll all tell you that it's being captured right there in the mobile application. So setting up the motion detector with the Scout Alarm system is pretty straightforward, and you can always know that it's working. Now the final thing we set up with our Scout Alarm system for the purposes of this review today was our Scout indoor camera. Now remember, you can set up a host of cameras with your Scout Alarm system in terms of the Nest Cam or the Nest Cam IQ, but we went with the proprietary indoor camera with Scout Alarm. And it honestly was not the easiest process. Even from the beginning, when you have to actually put in this piece, I actually had a little bit of trouble. Granted, I don't have the most articulate of fingers. Placing this power adapter, I had to rotate the device so that I could actually get out the space to place this power adapter in. Now, when it came to syncing it with my system, I actually had to do it a couple of times. The first time is because the professional monitoring is necessary just for adding the camera. I don't understand why that's the case, but I actually had to call Scout Alarm, and they explained to me that I had to set up professional monitoring, put my credit card information in before I could set up my camera. And it's true, once I set it up, there was a ton of new options in terms of things I could set up with the Scout Alarm home security system. But initially, I only was able to add door panel, access sensors, and motion detector. Now, once I paid, I was able to start setting it up. But where I made a mistake is I accidentally put a space in my password. And just from putting that space in the password, I had to go through a really more difficult than necessary process of resetting this camera by placing my finger on this reset button multiple times for about 45 seconds each time before I was able to get a full reset and restart the process of setting it up with my Wi-Fi. Now, once I did all of that, it was very easy and straightforward, but it definitely took me 15 to 20 minutes more than I'd like to spend setting up an indoor camera. So that's how it was installing the Scout indoor camera for me with the Scout Alarm home security system. Now, I'd be remiss if I didn't mention the yard sign and window decals with the Scout Alarm home security system. Remember, this is how people know that you're being protected. This is something that, I'm not saying it's like a point of pride for you, but it's definitely something you want to have so people know that you got something on your side too in terms of defense. All right, hold on, quick break. The Scout Alarm hub is connected by Ethernet, while some of the systems that we review are connected simply by Wi-Fi. Do you have a preference for one or the other, or not at all? Leave us a comment below. We'd love to hear your thoughts. All right, let's get back to the video. All right, now that we've got our system and we've installed it, let's talk about those professional monitoring options for Scout Alarm home security. Now, there are two plans you can get with your Scout Alarm home security system. One is the always on plan that gives you 4G cellular backup and battery backup. So if something's going on with your system, you can still get those alerts that you need. And how do you get those alerts? Well, you can get push notifications, mobile app alerts, and even text messages. Now, that's a really good thing to have, but it isn't professional monitoring. Now, if you want that 24/7 dedicated team of staff protecting you and your home, you're gonna get the Always On Plus plan. And that's $19.99 a month, but you get that entire team 24/7, 365, and making sure you and your home are safe. So that's something to think about when you're looking at the professional monitoring options with the Scout Alarm home security system. Of course, people always wonder when they have these monthly contracts is what is their commitment? And this is what's great about Scout Alarm is that it's just that, monthly. Even if you sign an annual contract to get that 10% discount, they will refund you the prorated amount back. So if you decide 6 months, 8 months, 9 months in that you don't want to be with Scout Alarm any longer in terms of professional monitoring, you can get that refunded to you. And that's a great element of a lot of these new security systems coming out here, and especially of the Scout Alarm home security system. Now that we've discussed all the options for professional monitoring, let's jump into the customer support. When it comes to customer support with the Scout Alarm home security system, there are actually a lot of options. They have video tutorials, a community forum, even a knowledge base that comes with a ton of FAQs to help answer your question. Now, if you still want to get in touch with Scout Alarm directly, you can email them, fill out an online form, or even give them a call between 9 and 6 Central Standard Time. So those are all really excellent ways that you can get in touch with them. In my experience, they were actually very straightforward, very informative, and it didn't take me any time at all to get to the bottom of my question. So I really want to commend Scout Alarm for our personal experiences with their customer support team. So let's jump into what other people are saying about their experiences with Scout Alarm customer support team. I was a little bit surprised to see that the Amazon ratings for Scout Alarm home security system were just 3.5 out of 5 stars, and even among those, a little bit under a third of those were just 1 star. However, I was pleased to see that other reviews that mentioned customer support, 5 out of the 7 of those were 5-star ratings. Now with Google, Scout Alarm home security system only has 3 reviews, and they're all 5 stars, but because there's no text, I can't really say whether or not they reflect their customer support, so I can't say whether or not they have great reviews related to Google and customer support. So now that we've discussed customer support, let's jump into the user experience on the Scout Alarm mobile application. Now in the Apple App Store, they only received 3.3 out of 5 stars, which is just above average. And one thing I want to note is that a lot of the reviews seem to mention delays on the sensors, but most people seem to generally find the app to be relatively user-friendly. Now in the Google Play Store, the mobile application for Scout Alarm has 3.6 out of 5 stars, with most people saying that upgrades led to connection issues and that they basically think that the app could use a little bit more work. So now that we've seen how other users are experiencing the Scout Alarm mobile application, let's jump into my own perspective using my iPhone 10. So here I am checking out the Scout Alarm mobile application on my iPhone 10. Now, if you note on the home screen, which is denoted by the house in the bottom left-hand corner, it's pretty straightforward from the beginning. The very top tells you how your actual system is being used at the moment. So right now we have our system on cellular. Typically we have it on Wi-Fi. You can have your monitoring contact information at the top. And then right below that, you can arm the system. So if I wanted to tap on sleep or away or vacation, or the one that I created myself, Baron Den, I would just tap on it. So if I hit sleep, for example, put the system to sleep, I can also hit away. As you note here, I tap there, vacation. Those are different options. Now, if you want to edit those, you just hold it down, and then you can go and decide on what you would like to do there with all your different devices. Now, if you note right below that, you have maybe the most important element of using your app beyond just setting up your system, which is using the cam. So we name this Baron Scout Cam, and I'll go ahead and turn that on. So I tap here. It takes a moment to load. And voila. There's a bit of a lag on our network as of today, but this is me checking out the Baron Scout Cam right here in the app. I can go ahead and zoom in. Gabe arm sleep mode. Let me go ahead and disarm that now. Now, if I go back into the Scout mode, I can actually go into the settings and look at the various elements. So privacy will turn off the camera so that it won't stream, record video, or send alerts. Or I can go and look at sound sensitivity, turn the microphone on, or even look at things like night vision or rotating the video. Those are some of the things you can do with the Scout app. If I continue and I go beyond the home page, you'll note there's a settings. We've got Gabe disarm sleep mode, Gabe arm sleep mode, hub switch to cellular. There's various options here. And to the right of that, there's this like little, basically looks like an atom or molecule with this light bulbs around it. If I tap on that, you'll note the different options of looking at the various devices, where to add a device, or even look at things like Google Assistant. Now going forward, I can hit on this key button on the right of that, and you can look at what I've got going on in terms of what members I have added, the key fobs. I can add a member right here just using the email, add more key fobs, and then I can go back to the home page. In the top left corner, you'll see a gear. Those are settings. I can look at my account details, notifications, subscriptions, community. We can also look at account details, which will give your address and phone number and all those things. So that's our look at the Scout Alarm mobile application. So here I am checking out the video quality on the Scout Alarm indoor camera, and you can see it looks pretty good. It captures a lot of what's going on in this room, and you can see what's going on. You can zoom in and out. We can give a little bit of a globe test here. Stopped on Africa this time. Go forward, you can look there. And you know what? Let me go ahead and zoom here. So you can really see what's going on. You can really distinguish between these countries. And voila. Here we are checking out the video quality on the Scout indoor camera. Here we are checking out the night vision on the Scout Alarm indoor security camera. And considering it only seems to have one infrared LED sensor, it's doing a pretty good job of capturing what's going on in this room. If you note everything around, you can get a pretty good look. If I move from one side to the other side, you know, maybe go down below, get here, go a little closer, it's not too bad. If I go ahead and give you that globe test, zoom in on it there. Sudamerica, here we are. Brazil, of course, being the most obvious part, but we got a pretty good look at what's going on in the night vision on the Scout Alarm indoor security camera. All right, we've gone a long way with this here Scout Alarm home security system, and you're like, Gabe, you've broken down a lot of things for me. Let's just get to the point, which is this the right system for me? And you know, if you're the kind of person who doesn't want these 1 to 3 year contracts and you just want to be able to break it off whenever, you don't like commitment, then this is great. If you also want good customer support, this is also a really solid choice. However, if you're someone who wants a proprietary camera that integrates really well with the rest of your home security system, Scout Alarm indoor camera is not it. It's just not going to provide that ease and convenience and just quality that we've come to expect from some of the other proprietary cameras. Now, my personal take is that it could have been a little bit more convenient from beginning to end. Going through the process, understanding that, you know, I was going to be a little bit biased because I like the aesthetic of Scout Alarm. I was a bit disappointed in how difficult it was to set up each piece and how I had to go through this professional monitoring part before I set up every part of the device, because, you know, what if I don't want to actually set up The camera, after going through the professional monitoring, just seemed like a little bit much, but it was mitigated by the absolutely excellent customer support team who really helped to make me feel better and just did a great job doing what they do best, helping the consumer. So shout outs to them. And those are my thoughts on the Scout Alarm home security system. All right, so that concludes our review of the Scout Alarm home security system. If you appreciated today's video, give us a like and hit that subscribe button. As always, this is Gabe at Security Brand. Be secure.